Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're finally back with a commentary guide. So we haven't done one of these in a while. We've been doing like other stuff like the meta recap and all. So mainly because I haven't actually really been playing that much Wild Rift just because I've been very busy. But today we're back with Tank Wukong, and I have said in the tier list that Tank Wukong is pretty good both in top and jungle. So we are going to be showing you guys why that is the case. So first up, as usual, very common jungle strategy. I'm warding my red buff and then going over to start my blue buff. So reason is, if you guys take a look, the enemy team has a Lux and a Jinx bot lane. So that's very gankable for me. So both are squishy targets. So I want to start off at top path to bot and then get off a gank there. Whereas Fiora and Riven a little bit hard to gank. Katarina and Yasuo as well, because Katarina's not going to have the best early game damage. She sort of wants to roam herself to snowball. So we're going to start with the blue buff. Wukong's clear is not the fastest, but you want to start off with your E. The reason for that is that when you E into the buff, not only does your main E go into the buff, but the other two small ones also goes into the buff, and gives you an attack speed increase for a while. So the attack speed increase is going to help you clear faster. It's going to be way better compared to if you take your first ability. So that's why we're doing that. So we hit level 3 off of the wolves, and now we're just going to proceed on to do our red buff. Our bot lane is surprisingly pushing, and also we have a Mundo support. So yeah, but the Mundo support actually does pretty well later on, and actually helps me out a couple of times. So here we're just gonna get the red buff. Nothing too special here, but after the red buff we are gonna go to the skull. Of course we are more than 10 seconds late to the skull spawn, so I'm not choosing to hit the plant because I don't want to reveal where I am. But Rengar already takes the skull. Of course Rengar clears way faster than me. I've already been spotted by both the Rengar and the ward, so I'm just gonna walk straight past through mid lane to get the top skull. Now normally this wouldn't be a good idea because you don't want to give away your location, but since I've already been spotted twice, the enemies probably already know where I am. And also later on, as you will see, this bush, river bush and tri bush is also warded, so Fiora can actually see me just taking the skull. She's not doing anything about it, but she can see it. So here I'm just gonna sweep for vision, and as you see there is a ward in the bush, and I'm just gonna clear out the ward. And I'm going to clear out this ward as well. So just clearing out 2 wards. I'm not really going to gank Fiora. Fiora actually lunges in and doesn't hit the lunge. So I'm actually going to jump in and get up a little bit of damage. Of course, we won't be able to kill her, but she already wasted her lunge. So there, she can't really do anything to me at that point. So I can actually just go in on her and just get off a little bit of damage. So here I'm just going to take the enemy Crux. This is actually pretty standard jungle pathing. Yasuo actually turns up from his recall, so I'm actually going to have to back away. Here I'm trying desperately to dodge left and right, but he still hits all of his Qs and then gets the knockup. Thankfully, as he hit his last breath, I did hit my level 5 and I was able to cyclone and flash my way out using the second charge of the cyclone to just clear the wolves as well. Then after we'll just, we'll get a reset and get ourselves some items. So first item for Tank Wukong is going to be the Sunfire Aegis. So I'm going to be building towards that. We got the Balmy Cinder and a Kindle Gem. So the Balmy Cinder will actually help out in the jungle clear quite a bit just from the AoE damage. Of course, in the in patch 2.3a, I believe, they did actually nerf Balmy Cinder and as well as the Sunfire Aegis to do like half the damage to monsters. So it will of course be doing less than previously, but however, it's still going to be putting in quite a bit of work, at least compared to what we had. So that is what we're going to do. So we're going to just rush the Sunfire Aegis first. And also something I want to point out that I actually haven't talked about yet is the fact that I've taken Conqueror. Now for normal Tank Wukong in the top lane, or first before we cover that, Riven is not going to actually make it to this wave. So I'm just going to clear out this wave to get myself the farm because she won't reach there anyway. She's desperately pinging me to retreat, but she's not actually thinking too much because it's actually helping the team if I get the farm compared to nobody gets the farm. So anyways, I have actually taken Conqueror. The other options are Aftershock and Grasp of the Undying. Grasp of the Undying is good for Wukong if you're in the top lane. However, of course you can't stack Grasp in the jungle, so there's no point of that. Aftershock does give you more tankiness. However, with especially the Sunfire Aegis, I will be doing quite a bit of damage to the enemy team when I'm jumping in. And I want to just take Conqueror so I can stack up and actually deal some damage despite building tank. So if you guys take a look at my team comp, it's really obvious and really clear that I'm going to be my team's primary engage, because no one else on the team can really engage. Katarina isn't just going to jump in. So here I'm just going to try to help the Katarina by knocking up the Yasuo with my Cyclone, but unfortunately she gets ignited and she dies. We do get the return kill on the Yasuo though, so it's not too bad. Overall, my team is having a positive trade because they did actually pick up a kill on the bot lane as well. Here I was actually going to back, but I'm just going to clear out my Krugs instead, so that I can actually complete my full item. So I am going to be the primary engage for my team, because no one can really engage. Katarina can just jump into the team. Mundo can frontline, but he can't engage. So I'm the only engage aside from Riven just flashing in with a knockup. Yeah, which is probably not very likely to happen. So, which is why I'm expecting to be the primary engage, and I'm just gonna be building the Bramble Vest later on. So after Sunfire Aegis, I'm actually going to go for the Bramble Vest, because most people will be attacking me when I jump in. So that is the main reason I'm going to build Bramble Vest. And also, actually we'll cover this later on when I do actually build the item. But for now, of course, we're going to be going for the Dragon. Here, Rengar does turn up, and I see a TP, so I'm going to have to immediately back away. It's going to become a full fight. I dodged the Lux ult, and I don't have my ult because I already used it previously on the Yasuo, so I'm just going to have to basic attack and use my skills to try to win the fight. So here, we actually come up with all 3 kills, and actually somebody does die, but generally this fight did go quite well for my team, and I also get a shutdown onto the Fiora. So here I actually don't have Smite. The reason is, just now when I got CC'd and was getting hit by the Lux Binding, I did actually Smite to slow so that I could run away. So I don't actually have Smite anymore. However, the entire enemy team has just respawned, so it should be fine. The main threat is actually the Jinx ultimate. However, Ezreal is actually standing at a position such that he should be blocking the Jinx ultimate. Smite comes back up after I get the dragon though, so I can secure the skull with it. So here it should be very obvious we've just finished dragon and we're coming up on mid lane. So I have no idea why Yasuo actually dashes back in. I mean, I know why. He wanted to get the kill on the Katarina, but he should know that we're all in the area, and look at how much damage I'm doing with the Conqueror and the Sunfire Aegis, combined with Mundo's Sunfire Aegis as well. So we have double Sunfire Aegis plus my Conqueror plus my ultimate. Yasuo gets melted. If you guys see that damage, it looks like I'm building damage, but I really am not. It's just a tank build. So here, as I mentioned, I'm gonna be actually building the Bramble Vest. So I have actually gotten the chain vest, which gives me more armor. So reason is I have not actually fully decided what to build yet. Riven is AFK, by the way, for now at least. So I haven't actually decided what to build yet. I'm thinking of whether going to a Dead Man's Plate, like a Randuin's Omen, or I could actually go for Guardian Angel. Here I can see them coming. I'm just going to smite the buff and run away. Of course, getting a bit of damage on Fiora as we go along. Of course, I'm tank Wukong. Fiora is not going to be able to run me down that easily, unless maybe if she ults me. But we're just going to back away. I don't have my ult either, and just praying the Riven to go away. So I have actually built the Chain Vest so I can decide whether I want to go for a Guardian Angel, or a Randuin's Omen, or a Dead Man's Plate. We'll have to see, but this is where I realize that, I am the primary engage for the team. I'm going to be jumping to the enemy team very, very aggressively just to get the engage, to get the multi-man knockups. So my thought process is Guardian Angel is going to be the best second item buy, because I can get the most value from it, just because it not only gives me armor against like a team of full AD aside from Lux, it also gives me attack damage, which gives me, damage to deal to the enemy. And the most important part is, of course, the revive, because I am going to be jumping to an enemy team. I am going to be the main focus of the enemy team, so I can actually get off the revive. Here I'm just going to clear out more vision around the Rift Herald. Now, enemy teams do have a tendency that when you clear out their vision, they're going to immediately face check you, just like what the Fiora did right there. So that's something you can actually play around. So here I'm actually just going to wait out. I suspect this bush is warded, but of course I don't have a sweeper anymore. But the Jinx oversteps. I engage with my ultimate, also hitting the knockup on everybody else. Of course, they're out of my range now, so I'm going to use the second charge just to knock up the Yasuo. Riven also knocks out the Yasuo. Here, Mundo actually heals me, which actually gives me both the movement speed as well as the health that actually gets me out there. If not, I would have died to the Rengar. So actually, really clutch heal by the Mundo, and recognizing that I needed the heal. So really good supporting skills by the Mundo. So that's where he actually saves my life. And of course, the Rift Herald that we want to contest is of course despawning, so no one actually aggroed it, so it has of course despawned, and Baron is spawning soon. So nothing too much is happening, we're just going to be clearing out our jungle. And as you guys can see, I'm building towards the Guardian Angel. I have a longsword, but also have picked up the plated steel caps along the way. So of course that is going to be a really good buy to just, in general, get the enemy to do less damage against me. Of course we are going full tank. So just going to clear out the top wave a little bit, farm the jungle camps. Can't really make it to the fight. So our whole team is getting demolished. 3 people died. Only Riven and me are left alive, unfortunately. So here I'm just going to walk over to defend our tier 2 tower. Not looking to fight them or anything. I'm not going to be able to 1v1 a Fiora, most definitely. I might actually be able to 1v1 like the squishier targets, or maybe even Rengar. I definitely cannot 1v1 Yasuo and Fiora though. So just because of my tank build. But I will be able to 1v1 the rest, I believe. Although I don't do that. I only play for team fights. Wukong is an amazing team fighter with his multi-man knockup on his Cyclone. So generally you want to play for team fights as an Wukong. So here, of course, the dragon is going to be contested. So Rengar is already in the area. But my entire team is in the area. So we're looking for like a nice ultimate onto the enemy team, but Yasuo decides that he wants to jump in. I don't even have to ult him here. We're just all 5 gonna just burst him down. Rengar is hightailing it with his ultimate. Here, unfortunately, we do get a root from the Lux, and Jinx also puts on her traps. If not, we could actually go for the chase, and I believe that we're gonna get another double kill. Rengar actually comes around the back over the wall of the blue buff, comes around to try to assassinate the Ezreal, but Ezreal. He has bought Frozen Gauntlet, not Triforce, so he actually does have some defensive capabilities, and he kites the Rengar out. Fiora doing her job of split pushing, of course, to nobody's surprise there. She is just split pushing. We're just going to clear out our jungle before recalling. This will allow us to get enough gold to pick up our Guardian Angel. And we also secure the second dragon, so we have the 2 important dragons, which is Ocean and Infernal, which is really good for our team. And the entire game, the goal gap is really close. Like, my team is in the slightly, their team is in the slightly, so this is a very even game. So we pick up the Guardian Angel, a very important pickup, of course, for all the reasons I mentioned previously. Here Rengar tries to get off another assassination of Ezreal, but it's not very successful. Rengar is not doing the best on their team. He's 2-4-2, so he's not exactly going to be doing a ton of damage at the moment, especially against an Ezreal who has 3 items inclusive of the Frozen Gauntlet. Rengar has completed his core lethality though, but his lethality is not going to help him against an Ezreal who has actually built tank, because he only has like 25 lethality, so it's not going to help him too much. Here I'm just going to clear out the ward. If you guys look at the ward, it has just been placed just based on the timer, so that we do know that there are enemies in the area. So I am actually proceeding cautiously here, but we do see an opportunity here. We're going to flash engage onto the Lux and the Jinx. They are basically both dead here. Nothing they can do about it. I believe even myself without the Riven probably get the easy kill on the Lux and then probably get the kill on the Jinx later on. But Fiora does actually turn up, so maybe not. So luckily Riven came with us, so we get an easy double kill on the enemy bot lane. So here, of course, we want to rotate for objectives, going for the mid lane tier 1 tower, which is of course the most important tower of the game. Our team does have less towers than them, so this equalizes our towers quite a bit. So we have taken the tier 1 tower off every lane, but Fiora has managed to split push our entire top lane, aside from the inhibitor. And we also have a wave up in our bot lane, so we are actually going to also try to pick up this tower. Now here's something very unfortunate that happens. So I was actually in the bedroom, and here as I was attacking this tower, I have actually started to lag. So here I'm just attacking the tower, of course, but I'm lagging over here. I see this, and this is where I lagged. I couldn't really move anyway, so I guess it's not too important, but I managed to actually walk out of it just based on the tank build and just how tanky Wukong is. So immediately, of course, I ultimate so that no one can really jump onto me. Fiora is still on the chase. She lunges, and I ultimate to interrupt the lunge, and I actually get out with my life, and actually with a decent amount of HP as well. Riven is jumping her way out of the fight as well, but Mundo is the casualty of the fight, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I was lagging there. I wasn't actually greeting for the tower, but I just couldn't walk away just because of the lag. So instead, now I've actually walked to a better location, like in the hall where it's closer to the Wi-Fi router, so I wouldn't be lagging anymore. So here, I'm going to be building towards a a Deadman's Plate. Of course, it isn't actually worth it to complete the not Bramble Vest, complete the Thornmail at the moment. It is more worth to actually just pick up the Deadman's Plate. So as you guys can see, Ezreal just died. Actually not Ezreal, Katarina just died in our bot side jungle. So I'm not actually even going to walk to the red buff area because I'm assuming that they took the red buff already. So I don't really want to walk in there just in case they're setting a trap on me. Obviously they're not because they're not in mid lane, but they could have been just now when I was walking towards the red buff area. So Fiora actually is really low, has to flash out. If I reacted maybe a little bit faster, I could have eat onto her before she flashed out, and I also had ultimate, which would guarantee the kill. However, you know, I didn't react fast enough, so it's not too big a deal. So here, enemy team is actually doing Baron, and by the time I actually get into range to see the Baron's health, they have already gotten it. So I'm here just pinging to retreat. Dragon is spawning in 5 seconds, now 2 seconds, so we can actually just trade off the Baron for the Dragon. It is of course not a good trade, especially Baron for Cloud Drake, but I feel personally that our team wasn't actually ready to fight them. Of course, the ideal situation is enemy team gets Baron, they're low, you clean all of them up, and the Baron does nothing except get them killed. But we only had like 3 of us there, and the entire 5-man enemy team was there, so I wasn't too confident on going for it, and we weren't all in position as well. So here, Fiora actually has come to contest, and she has a Guardian Angel. So here, with my dying breath, I will smite the dragon, and I fall. So here, of course, Rengar, as usual, trying to assassinate the Ezreal. And he doesn't succeed as usual as well. Yasuo is in to try to do the save. Riven actually does a ton of damage despite dying to Fiora like twice at the start of the game, making it appear that she's not a very skilled Riven, but she actually still does a ton of damage, and she broken wings her way out of the fight. So she is the only person who survives. Now this is bad situation for us. So maybe the Dragon Claw wasn't the best, and we probably should have backed off the moment we saw Fiora, but you know, we didn't. So unfortunately the enemy team has Baron, and all of us are dead except Riven. Riven of course doesn't have the best wave clear. She does have decent amounts of wave clear though. As long as she can get into range of the wave, she can actually use broken wings on the wave and clear the wave. But enemy team has Baron, enemy team pushes really quickly. They have a Jinx, they have a Rengar, they have a Fiora. They're gonna push real quick. So here all of us have respawned, so they're gonna have to stop their push in the mid lane. We're gonna chase them away, but instead they go for the bot inhib, which they of course pick up with the Baron buff. So here I'm gonna get off a catch on the enemy team. Of course, I'm going to go in with the knockups on the entire backline. Look at the 4-man knockups. Not 4-man at the same time, but 4-man total for both the first and second part of my skill. So after I've contributed by initiating the fight, what do? I'm low health, I flash out, and it's up to the rest of my team to follow up, which thankfully they do. So basically the entire enemy team dies except Yasuo, who wasn't really in the fight anyway, and Rengar, who obviously was not being focused. I guess Lux and Jinx was getting focused, which are, and Fiora as well, which are, I guess, higher priority targets actually. So we are going to have to push over here because obviously we need to get some towers. We actually run on minions, but the next wave is coming. Doesn't matter. We actually trade aggro on the tower so we can pick up the tower quickly. We get our next wave. We're gonna have to try to pick this tower up. Unfortunately, I have Sunfire Aegis, so it actually does aggro onto the Yasuo, which is not what I want. So we actually pick up the mid inhib. So we sort of try to equalize mid lane. Of course, they still have a bot inhib advantage. Mundo is clearing out Sid bot lane and is actually trying to kind of push up a little bit too. Fortunately, we have a wave in top, so I'm actually gonna pick up this top lane tier 2 as well. So it sort of tries to make up a little bit of the deficit that we have here. Katarina overstays a ton. Obviously, you get the tower, you recall. The entire enemy team collapses on her. There's no way I can save her. I do have ultimate and all that, but I don't see a way where we both make it out alive. So it's better to not die and escape than then you try to help your teammate and you die as well. So that was the logic there. So I just hightail it out here. Here I see Ezreal taking my red buff. Of course, he is doing well. His 5, 4, and 11. He needs red buff way more than me, so I'm gonna give him the red buff, especially since I'm going for a tank build. Red buff not gonna help me too much. So remember, as a jungler in the late game, you should pass off your red buff to your AD carry and your blue buff to a mage, if possible. But there is no mage, so I'm just gonna pick up my own blue buff. Ezreal actually ults to check for if the enemy team is doing Baron, which they are not, thankfully. So we don't really have to stop them from doing it or anything. So, but everybody's posturing on the Baron area, of course, because it is the only major objective up on the map. So here I'm gonna actually come around the long way with the Ezreal. And also here Rengar initiates on the Ezreal. I have actually followed his dash all the way. So here I see an opportunity. I'm coming in with the engaged 3-man knockup. I can't actually reach the backline because of the knockups. So I'm just gonna knock up the only person I can, which is the Fiora. Then I'm gonna just go get out, disengage the fight, and then here I come back in. Of course I have GA, so it procs. But here I have been the focus of the enemy team, so it allows Katarina to actually get off her damage and get off a triple kill. Here I'm just gonna get Fiora on the chase and pick up the Fiora. Now I'm pretty low, so of course I'm not a Wukong main. I don't play jungle. I don't play Wukong. I'm not even sure if I can do this. I started for a while. I realized no way that's happening. No way we're gonna be able to do Baron. So I walk away. Instead, Elder Dragon is up, and we already have the 3 previous dragons. So if we secure Elder, we basically are almost guaranteed to win the game, because there's no way we lose a team fight with Wukong Ultimate, with Elder Dragon, with 4 dragons stacked, and with, you know, a strong front line in Mundo, and with magic damage on Katarina, with physical damage on Ezreal, and of course all the CC and physical damage on Riven as well. So no way we lose it. So here I just hit the plant to check if Rengar is in the vicinity. Of course he was the only member of the enemy to stay alive, and he was last spotted at mid lane. He could have ulted to come to the dragon. Of course we didn't see the mark above our head, so he probably didn't do that, but you never know. You never know, it's all I can say. So no harm in checking. So here I'm just going to be pushing out the top lane, which I have semi-missed the wave. So here I'm just going to push out the top lane, and my ultimate is back up. So for the next team fight, it's going to be all good. And we're going to, of course, rotate towards the Baron area. Of course, we want to contest the Baron. We want to at least pick up a team fight. We see Lux and Jinx sort of alone, so I'm sort of trying to come over and see. So I'm going to send this bush, but I'm going to actually check the bush. So I realized the bush is actually warded, so I dodged the Jinx W, dodged the Lux Q, dodged the semi-dodged the Lux E, but the giant shield from the Elder Mountain Dragon actually protects me, sort of. So here I reveal the ward on the Baron pit that we have actually seen earlier. So here I get off the engage. Katarina is here for the follow-up, and unfortunately they all get hit by Lux Root, but fortunately we do actually get off the kills. Katarina flashes to go for the following kills. Here Katarina randomly ults, probably doesn't matter. Fiora, now here we have actually quite an interesting situation. So Fiora is in bot lane, she's trying to push. Ezreal has recalled and realizes Rengar and Fiora are trying to actually push. Now both of them can take down the Nexus really fast, but I don't think 2 people are going to be able to take down the Nexus faster than 4 people, whatever the case is. So we're actually going to be able to finish the game just off of the enemy team not recalling and trying to base race with us. So here I'm going to leave you guys with the stats. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, as well as subscribe for more. And I have actually another commentary guide coming up after this one, so you can look forward to that. As you guys can see, we did pretty well. We are 4-1-16. We don't tank as much as the Mundo, but we still do our job pretty well. Ezreal is the MVP, does a lot of damage, just slightly below Yasuo. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.